Hello and welcome to Deborah Cowell Yoga. Today's practice will be focused on just easing through this practice, so becoming in touch with the body perhaps, and just feeling how the body feels as you move through the practice today. So not pushing yourself in any way, just allowing everything to kind of flow naturally. We will be moving very slowly, very mindfully. And if at any time that you would like to, perhaps just close your eyes and just get in touch with how your body feels. And maybe also things that you're perhaps have been thinking about, and just let everything go, become very present. So for this practice today, we will be ending in a contemplative meditation practice. So I would suggest, if you're new at meditation, to have a timer that you could have set for the end of the practice. And also maybe a chair if you're not used to sitting on the floor for long periods of time. You can also use some blocks to elevate your spine, or a bolster for the end of the practice as well. So you can gather up these things and then come back and we will begin. So we're going to begin just by coming down into child's pose. So just take to begin with, just take your hands and think about externally rotating the shoulders. So just by taking the arms and turning them. So perhaps I will show you for a moment. So just taking your hands and thinking about just rotating the backs here, and then bringing the hands down so that the shoulders are going down the back. So placing your hands on the mat and then taking the knees out to the sides of the mat and just bringing the big toes together at the back, and then just sinking down. Dropping the forehead down. And just easing into your breath here. So just allowing your breath to flow naturally. Finding that ease in the breath. And on every exhalation, just allow your body to soften and perhaps release a little bit further. Soften the shoulders, soften your face, your jaw. And just become aware of the quality of your breath here. And then inhale, just come up onto your knees. Bring your knees underneath your hips and just walk your hands out a little bit further. So just let them slide to the front of the mat and then drop the forehead down again. And maybe even dropping the chin down to the mat. And then inhale, come up, and then just drop your chest down towards the mat, coming into Sphinx pose. So have your hands wide on the mat and just press the tops of your feet down into the floor so that you're engaging your legs, so that the only thing that really is touching here is your pubic bone and the tops of your feet and your forearms. And start to think about lengthening out the spine, lengthening the spine. And breathing. And then we're going to drop back down, slide the hands back down beside you by your ribs. Then we're going to inhale and lift up into a small cobra here. Dropping the shoulders down. And then exhale, come back down to the earth. Bring your feet together. Clasp your hands behind your back. And on an inhale, we're going to lift our head and our feet off the floor. So inhale. And exhale, come back down. Bring your hands alongside your ribs. And then inhale, come back up onto the knees and just slide back into that child's pose again. We want to wake up our body slowly, get the energy flowing to release any blockages that we may be having in our body before we come into our meditation practice at the end. And then we're going to round up and then come forward again, coming back down. Inhale, come back up. And then just sit back down onto your heels again. Slide your hands out, drop the chin. And then come forward. Bring the hands alongside the ribs. Inhale, come up. And exhale, come back. Sitting onto your heels again. And then come up in onto all fours. And we'll just do a few cat-cows here just to wake up the spine a little bit. So on an inhale, bring your nose up. On an exhale, just round the spine. Take a look back at your navel. And then inhale, come forward. Exhale and round the spine. Inhale, come forward. Exhale and round. And we're just going to start to look back at our toes. And then exhale the other way, look back at your toes. Just making a nice C shape with your spine. So taking the spine in the opposite direction, just waking everything up here. So with your breath, exhaling to the side, inhaling forward, exhaling. And then maybe just start to make some small circles with your hips, just to wake up your hips a little bit here. And then the opposite direction. And then come down again onto your hands. And we're going to just lift our hands up and just curl them around. And then slide back and come into sitting. So So we're going to sit up onto our knees. So coming up, take your arms out to the sides. And then we're just going to take the right arm and take it over the left. And inhale, lift up. So on an inhale, we're going to lift up, and on an exhale, we're going to round and come down. Inhale up. Exhale and come down. Inhale up. And exhale, curl down. Inhale up. And then release your hands. And we're going to take the left over the right this time. And on an inhalation, lift the arms up. And on an exhalation, curl, coming down. Inhaling, coming up. And exhaling and coming back down. Inhaling up. And exhaling and coming back down. Inhale up. Release your arms. And then just sit back down onto your heels. Take your arms out to the side. And then just bring them back behind you. Interlock your fingers. Open up the heart. Just drop your chin here. And then just drop your hands down towards the floor, opening up the heart center. And then release. So we're just going to bring our hands to our heart center, and we're going to just roll our hands so that we can wake up our wrists a little bit. And then in the opposite direction. So just moving back and forth, just to wake up the wrists a little bit. And then just take your fingers and open and close them. And then come back to the mat. And we're going to just sit down, stretch the legs out, and take your feet to the outside edge of the mat here. And take your hands behind you with the fingers pointing to the front of the mat. Again, lifting the heart center here. And then on an exhale, we're just going to drop down and windshield wiper our legs back and forth here. And then bring your left leg down to the floor, your right leg down to the floor, and then inhale, lift up your right arm and bring it back to the back of the mat, hands pointing to the front of the mat. And you can come up onto your fingertips here a little bit and just come into this nice twist. So collarbones are pointing to the front of the mat. And if that feels really good and you would like to maybe change where the twist is happening, then just come down ever so slightly, just noticing how you're feeling. If it doesn't feel good, then just ease your way back out and perhaps come down onto your forearms here. So if it doesn't feel good, then obviously just move back out of it. Become aware of what your body is telling you. And just stay with the breath, feeling the breath moving along the side of the body. And then inhaling, just walking the hands back up, bringing the right hand back, coming back. So we'll just continue with our windshield wipering, starting on the right side, and then coming back down. So again, staying with the breath, inhaling as you come up, exhaling as you come down. Close your eyes here and just feel this gentle rocking motion. And then come down, bring both knees to the right, and then inhale, lift up your left arm and just bring it down to the mat. Opening up here. Again, find length in the spine and just breathe into it. And if you would like to, you can certainly come down. You may have to adjust your hips a little here. And again, you can close your eyes and just breathe. And then inhale, just slide your hands back up, bring the left hand up and come back onto the mat. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to just stretch our legs out coming into Tadasana. Again, finding length in the spine here, and if you need to, you can sit on a blanket if your back is rounding. So if you have any problems, maybe your back is not quite strong enough yet to sit up straight, then just take a small rolled up blanket and sit on it, just bringing that tilt into the pelvis so that you can sit nice and tall here. Again, just coming to the breath. And maybe just for a minute, just get some energy flowing in your toes here. Spreading them out and maybe just rotating them a few times. One way and then the other. Then we're going to draw our right knee up into our chest. So draw it right in and then take that right foot and take it over the left. And then we're going to inhale, just lift up the right arm and take it back behind you. Again, finding length in the spine, take a look at your toes, find that length, and then come into the twist on the exhale. So keeping the spine tall, and the twist is coming from the navel area. And again, just breathe into it. Allow the breath to take you deeper. Don't push yourself. Just allow it to happen. So perhaps on each exhalation, just allow your body to go a little deeper. And then inhale, come back to the center. And we're just going to reverse that motion. So take the left arm back. And if you're very tight here, you can move your foot down. That's perfectly fine as well. And then take your right arm up, and we're just going to either bring your arm down, or you can just grab your knee here and take the twist in a more open direction. So again, finding that length and then easing into the twist. And then coming back out slowly. And then just lengthen that leg out. Find length again. And then take the left leg over the right leg. Take the left arm behind you. And then just take the right arm either by the knee or further down. Again, finding length and easing into this twist slowly. And again, become aware of what your body is perhaps saying to you. Or be aware of any thoughts that may arise. Just letting them arise and then just letting everything go, becoming very present. And then we're going to come back slowly and then take the right arm behind you and then just take the left arm somewhere on the left knee. And again, finding that length and then coming into the twist. And then inhaling, coming back slowly. Release both legs out onto the mat. And draw the right leg up towards the chest. So just hold it here. And then we're going to just continue to hold on to that knee and come down to the floor and just draw the knee back in towards the body. And then take that leg, that foot straight up into the air and just hold it here for a few breaths, just breathing into it. So toes are pointing down, the heel is going up towards the sky. A few more breaths here, and if you need to keep your knee bent, that's perfectly fine as well. Just be where you need to be today. And then if that feels okay for you, perhaps you could bring your hands a little bit further down the leg and then just lift up with the shoulders. Drawing the leg a little closer to the body. So just come to where it feels good for you. It doesn't have to be too far. The other leg is engaged. The toes are pointing up. And then release that leg. Bending the knee. And just letting it slide slowly down the mat. Take a breath. And we're going to sit up. So come up onto your elbows and then come back up again. Back into your Tadasana. And then bend your left knee, drawing it into the chest. Finding length. And then very slowly starting to come back down. So just keeping that leg, drawing it into the chest. And then slowly start to take that leg up towards the ceiling. So just keeping your hands underneath, behind your thigh. Spreading the toes, taking the heel up, and just breathing. So there's no rush, there's nowhere that you need to be, just right here. Just being in touch with your body, just feeling everything. Notice any tightness that you may be feeling. So sometimes life can be uncomfortable, and it's good to have that awareness of what it is and then just accept that and let it go. So again, take your hands and just bring them up onto the thigh. And again, lift the shoulders up off the floor and draw the leg in closer. Breathing, so keeping the other leg engaged. Toes are pointing up and breathing. And then coming back down, just slowly let that knee bend and let the foot slide along the floor. Take a breath. And then we're going to bring our knees back up, cross our ankles, and take your hands behind your thighs, and we're going to roll up. And then come onto all fours. So if that's not possible for you, then just come over onto your right side, roll up, push yourself up, and then come back into your tabletop position. And we're going to tuck our toes here. And again, externally rotate those arms so the shoulders are going down the back. Tuck the toes, and we're going to come up into our first down dog. So again, do this very mindfully. Keep the knees bent to begin with. So we're going to inhale and then exhale. Just start to lift up. Stay up on your toes and just take the spine up into the air, pushing down into the hands, lifting up. And then bringing the feet down to the mat. So we're just going to bend our left foot here. And then bring the left foot down, lift up the right. And then alternate. So coming into your down dog, we're going to just come forward onto our toes, coming into a plank here. So just take your time. Stay up on your toes, and then just drop down onto your knees here. We're going to lift up our right knee and just bring the foot beside the right hand. And then just gradually just softening in the hips here, lengthening out through the spine. So just taking your time, feeling your hips here, and if you need to, just take your hands up onto some blocks, that's perfectly fine as well. Whatever level you would like, so that you're finding that length in the spine. So, and again, just coming to the breath, just breathing into the openings that you're creating here. And then stepping the right knee back and bringing the left foot forward beside the left hands, and again sinking down into the hip. You can close your eyes here and just get in touch with what your body is telling you right now. Again, notice the quality of your breath. And then step your left foot back, coming back onto your knees. And again, just slide your hands out, dropping the chin down to the floor. And then coming forward, bringing your hands beside your ribs and then inhaling, coming up into your cobra. And then exhaling, coming back, dropping down. And then inhaling, coming forward one more time, just coming back down into your cobra. Inhaling, coming up. And then exhaling, coming back. Tuck your toes, drop down. And then inhale, come up into your down dog again. And again, just walk your feet out here. So maybe just lifting up your right foot and then just dropping your right foot, lifting up your left. So just pedaling out your feet. Just letting them release. Letting the arches release from your feet, your toes, your hamstrings, side of the body. Just feel every part of your body that you're using right now. And then come back to the center line. Take a breath. And then roll forward into your plank. Drop your knees, drop your chest, drop your chin. And inhale, come forward, up into your cobra. And then exhale, come back. Just nice and slowly into your down dog. Come back up. And then look forward and walk your feet to the front of the mat. So keep your knees bent here. Just let your head and neck release. Let your arms release. And then we're going to inhale, lengthen. And exhale, fold. One more time, inhale. And exhale. One more time. So if your hands don't reach the floor, then just put them on your shins and lengthen that way, or on your thighs and just lengthen the spine that way. And then exhale, bend the knees and fold. Now we're going to press down through the feet and inhale. Come all the way up to standing. So inhaling, reaching up, and exhaling the hands down. Inhaling, reaching up. I'm going to interlock my fingers here, softening the elbows, and then take the hands straight up. Look down at your toes and find a length here. Bring your arms alongside the ears. Just feel the spine lengthening. And then perhaps just twist to the right. And then inhale back to center. And then twist to the left. And then back to center. Inhale to the right. Exhale to the center. Inhale. And then come back. Release your hands. Come to the front of the mat. Inhale, reach up. And exhale, fold. So again, bend the knees, bend the knees. And then inhale, lengthen out. Place your hands on the floor beside your feet and step back into your down dog. Again, take the shoulders down the back, just letting the head and the neck release. So maybe just nod your head yes and no here. And then come back up onto your toes and drop your knees down to the floor. And we're going to just bring that right foot forward again beside our right hand. And then we're going to inhale and lift up. So really finding length here. And then bringing the hands down and just circling them around, inhaling them back up, and then down, and then inhaling them back up. Finding length. Then we're going to take our right hand and just let it slide down the left leg. So finding length here. So a little bit of a twist, reaching up, and then inhaling, coming up, and then bringing the hands down to the earth. Step back with your right foot. And we're going to come back into our down dog. And then come back up onto our toes. Come back down onto your knees. And then just walk the left foot forward. Inhale the arms up. And then exhale, just bring them down and around, inhaling up. Exhaling them down, inhaling up. And then leave your right arm up, finding length. And then just take your left hand and just let it slide down that left leg. And then exhale, bring your hands back down to the earth. Tuck your toe and just step. So come up onto your back toes and just step back into your down dog. Take a breath. And then come back onto your knees. Back into your child's pose. Take your toes together and then just settle down into your child's pose. Again, coming back to that breath. And then just roll up. Take your hands behind you on the mat. And we're just going to bring our legs straight out again onto the floor. And just take the soles of your feet together. So have your legs open in more of a diamond shape here. And then we're going to just find length as we come forward. So keeping the spine nice and tall. And then exhaling, rounding and coming down. And then inhale, come back up. And we're going to finish our practice today in a contemplative meditation called Soham And this practice is very good especially if you're new to meditation. So if you have a timer and you would like to stay a little longer perhaps, then set the timer at least to begin with for 5 minutes, and then find a comfortable seated position. So if your spine is curling and rounding, then sit up on something so that you can be elevated. That may be 1 block or 2 blocks, or perhaps a blanket or a bolster, whatever you need to sit for an extended period of time. So if your spine is rounding and curling, then elevate your spine. And if you would like to sit on a chair, then by all means that is perfectly fine too, especially if you're new to meditation. So if you're sitting on a chair, then just make sure that you have enough room so that you can sit away from the back of the chair so that your back is nice and tall and long, and take the shoulders down the back and just start to lengthen out through the spine. You may want to just open your palms up here. So close your eyes and just start to feel the rise and the fall of the energy. So we've already kind of opened up all of the blockages perhaps in our body, and maybe you feel a little more settled that you can sit. So just come to your breath. And the Soham practice is a reflection of the sound of the breath. So the So sound is the sound of the inhalation, and the Hum sound is the sound of the exhalation. And it also is a reflective meditation. The meaning is the So is I am, and the Hum is that, or I am that. And that means I am everything, I am everywhere, I am connected to everything, as we all are. So it's a good way to kind of contemplate who we are, maybe, and what we are, and the connections that we have to everything, even empty space. There's vibrations and movement. So let's just come to our breath and then on. So this practice can be done just to yourself. You don't need to verbalize it, the mantra. You can just say it under your breath. So on the So is the inhale, and the exhale is the Hum. So just try that with your own breath. So just staying connected to the breath. So you may continue with your Soham meditation. I'm going to say goodbye now. Thank you for joining me. Namaste.